Addy soldiers. Surprise, my hair's short again, as is evidenced by my lack of video last week. The last couple of weeks have been very busy for me at work, and due to all the seminars and training and conferences and online meetings, just this week I didn't want to do anything serious and scripted. I just wanted to put up a pumpkin and grab my favorite spooky season mug and just have a nice little fun old time. And many people don't know this, but in addition to having a full-time day job, I also am a full-time hater. I've been stewing on this video for a long time, so these opinions are going to be distilled. Plus, I've also been seeing an uptick of this on TikTok, which, you know, is the algorithm that runs my life. So without further ado, grab a drink, grab a snack, and buckle in, and just listen to me yell about some of my bookish pet peeves. Number one is a well-bemoaned thing that yet for some reason they still are doing, and that is putting real people on covers. And I'll give it that for the most part, these have been phased out. I feel like cartoon covers have kind of overtaken the niche where people's actual faces used to be, and like, thank God. You'd be scanning the shelves and suddenly there'd be a face and you're like, oh my God, jump scare. Somebody who knows science, please explain this to me, because I see real people all the time, and yet for some reason when they're on a book cover, I'm like, ew. It triggers some ick back here, it triggers that uncanny valley feeling, and people that are notorious for putting real people on covers are for movie book covers, which stop it. And like, I get it. You want cohesion in your marketing supplies, right? You want people to know that this is the book that this movie's based on, so maybe they'll buy it. But like, does this make you want to buy the book? No. If you're going to redesign a cover, it better be better than what's already there. The only exception to both the movie cover and people on covers, in my opinion, in my books, is the Shadow and Bone Netflix show TV covers, because like, it's cool, it's minimalist, there's not too much person, just enough person. However, I'm gonna literally put my microphone on my stand because I need both hands for this. You see this bitch? This non-removable sticker that is just printed onto the cover? Stop it. Publishing, just as a whole, listen up, okay? You need to figure out something to do with this. Look, if you have to have a sticker on there, if you must, at least make it removable. It is the 21st century. I'm sure that you can step your game up and come up with something, because who does this benefit? Okay, oh, I get it. Oh, you want people to know that it's part of the movie thing. Do it somehow else. Put it somewhere else. Put banners in bookstores, just not this bullshit, okay? Because the cover designer probably has trouble fitting it in, and then it doesn't look good. And like, me as a reader, I hate this. I cannot live La Vida Loca when having these unremovable stickers on my books. Oh my goodness, I am already unreasonably sweaty from just that. Unremovable book stickers make me actually angry, but something that I think is just petty Lapone, if you will, is when a book uses a font to try and trick the reader into associating it with another more popular book. Like, all of these books have Cruel Prince font. Like, this is Holly Black font. Nice try. You can try and pretty yourself up and mimic the Cruel Prince, but you will never have what he has, you imposter. And when series don't have the numbers of the book written on the spine, don't even get me started. If you are going to do a 3, 4, 5, 17 book, even like 2 book, even a duology, if you are going to do a series that has more than 1 book, I want the number of the book in the order that it is in, printed on the spine. Publishers, I need you to get your shit together and start doing this, because you did it for a little while, but now it's like, oh, my kingdom for a number. It's like, see this? You see Jasmine Throne right at the, hello, focus please. There we go. Book 1. You see, how hard was that? Oh wow, I wonder what book of the duology this is. Oh, it's book 1. Amazing. I love this. Or even when it's printed on the bottom of the book, oh my gosh, hey, look, it's book 2 of The Winter Sea. Wow, amazing. I love knowledge. And I feel like I'm pretty good in this category already, just because usually when I go to the bookstore, I'm like looking for a specific book. But I was just casually browsing and saw a cool thing and went, ooh, this looks fun, I guess I'll buy it. And then I didn't realize that it was 3rd in a series of 15, and then I'm just going in blind. I'm spoiling something, I don't understand what's going on, and I'm probably gonna put it down. And that's not what publishers want. They want people to keep buying their books. Well, I would if I knew what sequential order they were in. Can we just bring back the Lemony Snicket series of unfortunate events naming conventions for series? I think that would clear up a lot of confusion. Next up, I hate when there's songs in books. Just, no. Playlists, sure, that's fun. Love a playlist that an author has curated and maybe put in the back of the book. It's like, hey, maybe listen to these songs while you're reading the book. Cool. But If you write out a song, or you have a character who's like a musician and they write out a song, no, immediately DNF. I will not be taking questions at this time. Moving on. And it might be weird to say it just out loud like this, but one of my biggest pet peeves in books is bad pacing, because the whole idea of bookish pet peeves is to be petty, is to talk about those silly, stupid little things that just irk you for whatever reason. And bad pacing is both very objective and also like not quite in the spirit of this video, but let me explain. Hear me out, if you will. This is gonna go on my hear me out cake. And maybe this transcends the whole idea of pet peeve. Maybe this is just like something that actually makes me upset, because I know that you had an editor. So what happened? The job of an editor is not to rewrite a book for the author, depending on what they like. It is to make sure that the author's vision is fully communicated and, can be the best that it can be. But why is your third act breakup, your makeup, your big sex scene, and the takedown of the big bad boss at the end over like 2 chapters, 30 pages before the end of the book? What happened there? Why didn't the editor look at that and go, okay, I understand what you're kind of trying to go for, but considering this book is 500 pages long, why don't we like restructure some stuff in the middle so that we can make it a proper 3rd or 5 act structure? Why don't we maybe spread out that, big bad fight? Why don't we add some stuff in to make it a little bit more epic and it's not over in a page? I have questions like, how'd this get made? Why did no one stop you? What were you thinking? For this next one, I'm gonna put my microphone back onto my tripod. Stop recommending things good for fans of ACOTAR. It's done. It's boring. Most of the time, it's not even accurate. For the fans of ACOTAR, shut the fuck up. Here's your bi-weekly reminder that Sarah J. Maas did not invent romantasy. She's actually a very horrible person, and her writing is incredibly overbloated. I'm so freaking tired of the Sarah J. Maas obsession. Okay, we need to move on collectively as a society. This is a marketing issue. I understand it is a very, very widely spread, well-beloved media that, people want the same feeling from. I get it. But it doesn't stop me from still feeling peeved off about it. And literally every book that has a sprinkle of fantasy and like a La Croix flavoring of romance is described as good for fans of Sarah J. Maas. And like, at this point, first of all, I don't believe you anymore. And second of all, I'm like, ugh, again? Actually, that leads me very well into my next point. I did not like number this list at all, so we're just kind of going off the cuff. But that leads me very well into the other point, because Sarah J. Maas is notorious for this. And one of my biggest pet peeves is books having 1,000 special editions. I've said it before and I'll say it again. People hold value in different things and it's up to them to decide where they want to place their value. Obviously, I hold a lot of value in books, and as a book dragon who loves to hoard pretty shiny things, I totally understand that when a new edition of a book you love comes out and the cover is foiled and there's sprayed edges and there's end papers, oh my god, my heart does a little pitter patter. But why does A Court of Mist and Fury have 15,000 different editions of it? Every book box, every couple years just recovers them, and then, oh, now they're purple, and last year they were pink, so they're totally different, and you're gonna want to buy them, and we're redoing the whole set again. And they're all like $80 USD, which, in my hard-earned Canadian money dollars is like 14,000. Capitalism strikes again, right? Because we all know people are redoing covers for well-beloved series that have very intense, strict fandoms, like A Court of Thorns and Roses, Harry Potter, The Cruel Prince, because it's pretty much a guaranteed moneymaker. But it's just like, oh my god, imagine, let's hold hands and just imagine what it would be like if we took a mere smidgen of a percentage of all that brain power of those people that are redesigning the Throne of Glass covers again, and instead we put that into marketing a diverse book. Oh my god, unheard of. You're telling me as a publisher you just can't take on another queer author because you don't have the resources, but you totally can just make another, like 500,000 print run of this new ACOTAR book jacket that's like bejeweled and foiled in like real gold, and also like sings a song whenever you pick it up, and it wafts like recent sweat. Like, okay. Next up is when a book has a pronunciation guide printed at the back of the book. What are we doing here? I've gone through my life up until this point, in blissful ignorance. Maybe I've made up a way that I prefer to pronounce this character's name. And now, you're going to give me all this information that would have been extraordinarily useful 400 pages ago, but you just didn't. Just like friends don't let friends drive drunk, authors should not be allowing book people to be able to just walk around in linguistic ignorance for 400 pages. I'm so sorry, Judy Lin, to throw you under the bus like this, but I recently picked up The Dark Becomes Her, and a whole part of this is Judy being very proud of her Chinese and Taiwanese heritage, and so this is a Chinese-Taiwanese horror novel set in Vancouver, Chinatown, which is so fun. You have to go through this much of the book, 340 pages, to be able to get to the glossary. And, you know, Chinese, just traditionally a very easy language to read and pronounce for people who are non-native speakers. But glossaries like this, I live for this shit. I love knowing more about like the different family structures and like nicknames for people and like, ooh, colloquialisms from different languages and their specific translations. This is sick as hell. Why is it at the back of the book, Rick Riordan? This is from Rick Riordan's imprint of Disney Hyperion, so Disney, I'm blaming you. As you can see behind me, I have a good collection of both YA and regular adult books, and I go back and forth between them when I'm reading, and because I like swapping back and forth, I feel like I have a pretty good eye when it comes to the themes, the content, and the pacing as it relates to both regular adult books and YA. And a disturbing trend that I've been seeing that I suppose yet again is a little bit bigger than a pet peeve, but I'm still gonna call it that, is marketing YA as sexy or spicy. That's a big ol' yikes. You can absolutely talk about sex and sex education and gender and relationships and intimacy in YA novels, but you can do it in a way that is appropriate for teens. YA books do not usually go into explicit detail, and there's a lot more focus on relationship building, feelings, and romance. And usually when you're talking about a like romance-heavy YA book, the content of itself is not overly sexual. It's just being marketed as sexy. That's just bad marketing. That's false advertising. And like, if you want to read about 15-year-olds getting it on, I think that says a little bit more about you. And on that note, killing these transitions today. A book that I read last month had this particular pet peeve in it, and that is when an author ages up their characters so that they can write more explicit sex scenes in the book. Now, aging up or aging down a book is not unheard of in publishing. It's honestly pretty common to see an agent say, oh, I think I could sell this better to a slightly different audience, so can we make this character 16 instead of 20? Can we make this happen in college instead of in high school? But what sometimes happens is that the characters will not age in accordance to their new age. You change so much in between the ages of 15 and 18. Hell, you change so much in between the ages of 18 and 25. The way that you talk about themes for an audience that's 16 versus an audience that's 30 are very different, and it's so weird to read a character who is kissing and having these sexy scenes and all this spice, but they have an internal monologue that sounds like they're 14. Like, if your main character is 25 and getting railed in a sundress one scene, they cannot be going eep and hiding behind a chair when their crush comes into the room. Like, what the actual fuck? And I don't need your characters to be going over their taxes for 3 whole chapters, but if you want to have adult content, I need your characters to act like adults. I think this video is just turning into bookish icks. And for my last pet peeve, we're circling back around to the beginning and talking about more movie adaptations, particularly just adapting everything left, right, and center with no rhyme or reason. Maybe, just maybe, we should actually take a moment and think about what would actually make a good book to film adaptation and not just willy-nilly throwing money at stuff. Some things are just not meant to be seen on screen. It ends with us. Akatar. There are so many amazing stories out there, and yet you are still giving us the exact same bland-ass, shirtless blonde man and his equally boring oat milk love interest again. Because a lot of the time when directors adapt books, they don't really want to actually adapt the book. They just want the names and the vaguest concept possible of those characters to just do their own thing with. Look what they did to Riverdale. Riverdale, look, I love Archie comics. That was a big part of my childhood growing up. And Riverdale, as a CW grimy, gritty show, was supposed to be fun. It was supposed to be camp. It was supposed to be awesome. It was supposed to be Mean Girls meets Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but instead Instead, you just took every single genre you could possibly think of, added noir to the end, and then tossed them all in a genre blender smoothie and came out with whatever the fuck that was. What do you mean Betty's a cop and Jughead got abducted by aliens and Cheryl's gay? Which, like, go off, queen. But, like, what do you mean? Though, quick side note, when they first made the Percy Jackson movies with Logan Lerman, The Sea of Monsters is my all-time favorite bad movie. It is horrendous. That it's so bad that it's made its way back over to fun, and it's also very fun to play drinking games too. Fandoms will defend the thing they like with their dying breath, and that's making it real hard when you just want to fuck around in the media that we like without any rhyme or reason because you want to make the next Twilight. It doesn't work like that. Plus, actually, okay, you know what? This is finally, I swear. One of my biggest pet peeves is when something is optioned for film and TV, but then nothing ever happens to it. And yes, I know it's a very exciting thing. The author gets all this recognition and money, and marketing is a whole jumble unto itself. Sometimes budgeting falls through, sometimes timelines fall through. I get it. But also it's like, I don't want to hear about it. Like, if you're going to give deals to all these authors and stuff, I don't want to have to hear about them announcing that, oh, I've gotten this deal for 6 years and then nothing ever happens to it. Like, I don't want to hear about a book getting turned into a movie until it is in production. Because all these things are getting my hopes up and then I just never hear about them again. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess we'll just shatter dreams today. Is that what you wake up thinking? TVXX, huh? Because I need you to deliver those scripts in Judge Judy fashion. I need you to put up or shut up. And I think that is that on that. Well, I've been yelling for 2 hours, and you know what? I do feel better. Those were some of my bookish pet peeves / bookish icks. I don't really know what this video turned into. Also, the sun has come and gone like 6 times in the filming of this, so sorry for all the weird lighting changes. I would love to hear your pet peeves, so please leave them in the comments down below. I'm sure I missed something. And if there's enough of them, maybe I'll make a part 2. Because I'm always ready to yell about stuff. I was doing such a good job growing my hair out, but I was getting so bored of it. So the other week I walked into a hair salon and said, do whatever you want with it. And now I technically have a wolf cut. I curled it so you can't quite see. Oh, you can kind of see the layers. I got a single pumpkin and a little bit of fall foliage to decorate for fall. But I feel like I'm not doing enough. Then again, I do have bones and skulls just on my shelves all year round. I'm thinking of decorating my house with bones and skulls. Oh, for Halloween? No. I'm gonna go and eat some Thanksgiving leftovers and then go prepare for another work event that I have tomorrow. So my fun time is over. You know where to click to like the video. You know where to click to subscribe. I hope you guys are all having a nice day wherever you are, and I will see you all next week. Bye!